Live from New York, it's the show that's just a total farce. It's first things first. Okay. Today.
Call it the whole game when he was holding the whole game. And even in that quote right there, Sauce Gardner had a little Freudian slip. I didn't hold him late. What does that imply? Yeah, I mean, I held him early when I was turning him. But let's just talk about what it was, because I will admit this. That's an ugly practice, man. There's a lot of things to work on after that practice. As Belichick always would say, trying to have a great practice. Yeah. They didn't. Practice started well, up 17-0. Then Patrick decided to practice, looping throws to tight ends, which he didn't really need to, and evidently he needs more practice on him, actually. There were a lot of things. The defense decided to start practicing, trying to get pressure without blitzing. It didn't happen. So there's a lot of things they need to tighten up in the next practice this coming week against your Super Bowl pick, the Minnesota Vikings.
Risky.
But let's talk about what everybody's all mad about, the officiating, and not the officiating when Terry McAulay came on the broadcast and said, yep, blown call shouldn't have been a safety, because that helped the Jets.
Sure.
Or when Terry McAulay came on the broadcast and said, yeah, that's the opposite of a horse collar penalty, actually, and that helped the Jets. Instead, people on the broadcast were mad about a defensive hold that was a defensive hold. Sauce grabbed his shoulder and turned him. Then people on Twitter, that's the one you're about to see. People on Twitter then decided, you know what? We're going to find something else. We're going to find a holding penalty that was uncalled. That never happens in the NFL. We can show it again. The best case scenario for the Jets there is it's offsetting penalties. It's a hold on Donovan Smith and illegal hands to the face repeatedly.
He's trying to get away.
Yeah,
He's just like, dude, get dude off
But
me.
Here's the thing, Brew, and you know it and I know it, and Wildes will at least admit it even if you won't. Call the hold there, because on 3rd and 12, what did Mahomes do? Ran for a first down. Then on 3rd and 22, what did Mahomes do? Run for a first down. So you know what? On 3rd and 32, I think he'd have found a way to get. Well, if he didn't do it on 3rd and 22, you guys would have been laughing at that. And how did the game end? With Mahomes running for the game's sealing score. And now we're going to talk about the Chiefs got lucky when they hit the mercy button to not hang 30 on the Jets. They did. That's he took a knee at the 1. So, yeah, lucky. It was a bad
a lot
practice.
of people upset.
They trailed for 0 seconds in the game.
They
Go ahead,
cost
Brew.
some people on the spread.
Well, be ready.
Look,
ready
I appreciate the costume, the whistle. It's cute, all right? And people know how I feel about Patrick Mahomes.
I'm starting to doubt it.
And I am essentially indifferent toward the Jets. I don't care about the Jets now, especially now that Aaron Rodgers is hurt.
Nets.
Okay? Now, that said, Wildes, and you were probably with me last night, I was pulling so hard for the Jets to win that game just so I could come in here and hear my good friend Nick Wright and foil Nick Wright squirm today. All that said, though, Nick, I got to be honest. And the officiating, look, that was clearly a hold. I don't care what the other guy was doing for the Jets. It was a hold. All that said, the Chiefs would have won.
Yes.
Like, as I'm watching that game, and even as it's 2020 late,
of course,
I'm sitting there thinking, the Chiefs are still going to win. This is what they do, and this is especially, Nick, what they do against bad teams. Yeah. All right? Let's see the graphic Dusty and I whipped up. Last year, these are 5 of the worst 6 teams in the AFC last year. The Chiefs beat the Titans by 3. The Raiders by 1. The Broncos, 2 close games. They beat Indy. They lost to Indy.
Yep.
Houston took them to overtime. And so this happens with the Chiefs. They, look, I get it. I used to talk to the Warriors players about this. When you're winning championships like you are, it sometimes gets hard with these regular season games to get up, especially for some of the bad
Especially
teams.
when you get up 17-0 and it looks like it's going to be a walk.
And there's no Aaron Rodgers, it's Zach Wilson quarterback. So, I still think the officiating was bad. I would have loved for it to have gotten the Jets a nice win, but the Chiefs were going to find a way, and that's just what they did.
I'd like to see the real Chiefs show up, though. As you know, I came over to become a fan of the Chiefs, and I'm getting this.
They haven't looked good since you've done that.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe I've stained the offense somehow, but the offense just kind of middling. Patrick Mahomes, 84 games. I organized his passer rating. This was his 4th worst.
It was one of the worst games he's ever played, and yet he made all the plays to win. And yet, it's one of the worst games Patrick Mahomes has ever played. And yet, every person watching it, when he got the ball at the end, said he'll find a way to come through.
Jets.
But it's the Jets. Okay, but 3rd and 22.
I know.
Were you shocked he picked it up?
No, of course.
Well, not with the guy like holding the defender like that. No.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Zach is back. Okay. Shout out to Robert Saleh. He was getting a lot of heat for standing by Zach, and it worked out. Besides the play that cost him the game. Did Zach prove he can be a starting quarterback?
All right, look, I've lived and worked as a member of the New York City media in the greater New York area for 25 years now. And I know that New York fans and media overreact positively and negatively to every little happening and occurrence and development, okay? And that's what's happening to some degree now. Correct. No, Zach Wilson did not prove that he's a starting quarterback in the league. What he did, Nick, he earned another shot. He earned a little bit of rope, a little more leeway, a little more patience. I've been sitting here, you guys know this, saying, why don't they go sign Carson Wentz? Not that he's anybody's savior, but he's still a legitimate NFL quarterback. Go get Carson Wentz. I'll step back because Zach Wilson earned the right to go out there and start next week. All right, so that's what he did to me. But it also shows us, Nick, how low the bar has become. Yeah. Because people are going gaga over him throwing for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, but I heard that the Chiefs were this
defense. But still,
I mean,
I showed you what bad teams have done against the Chiefs, pushed them and made them sweat a little bit at the end. Zach, this is his 3rd year.
Yeah, I mean,
like usually a good quarterback will show glimpses. Even if he has a bad rookie season, a bad second year, you see glimpses. Oh, okay, this is like the first glimpse. It's his 3rd year.
I saw some.
The other glimpses when he threw for big yardage, he would always throw some interceptions or at least
this
one
is the best game
and
of his
have
life.
lower completion percentage. This was a very good game. And again, I'm willing to sit back and be patient and see what he can do. I'm just saying the bar is so low that in your 3rd year, because you played decently and look like a legitimate NFL quarterback, people are going a little overboard.
So I want to be fair. He was, in my opinion, playing for his career and played the best game of his life.
He was very good.
I also think that is somewhat damning with faint praise that game was the best game of his life, right? That a game where the offense scores 18 points, they end up losing the game, and arguably the single biggest play of the game was his fumble, was universally accepted as the best game of his life. But I said going into it, it was going to be his last game starting, that they might go to Boyle and that next week it would be Simeon. And now he does have an opportunity in this regard. They have Denver next week.
Yeah.
Everybody throws on Denver. You had it, Wildes. In their last 2 first halves, Denver has forced 1 incompletion, and it was a failed Hail Mary. And now Denver, I know they came back and won, but they have Denver, Philly, who's really tough, and the Giants in the next 3 weeks. I would expect Zach to get all 3 of those games and have an opportunity to build on this. But I still we do Mahomes Mountain tomorrow. Did he earn a spot on the mountain? Maybe.
Wow.
Is he maybe all of a sudden not the worst quarterback in the AFC East? Well, we'll talk about that in just a second. But do I think you're going to feel good with him being your starting quarterback? I do not.
He earned some leeway.
Yeah.
You ready to just hand him the job now? He's your franchise quarterback. He did
well.
He played.
He outplayed Patrick Mahomes.
He did. That is true.
Head down to Dallas.
Uh-oh.
Wildes, you got to go first, man. Are you done with Mac?
Not at all.
Why?
Not in the least bit.
You tweeted like you were.
What?
Because I threw in a towel. I threw in the towel because I loved him, and I saw my fighter getting beat up in there. I said, let's get him out of there. Let's get some zappy time. But maybe you guys are the type of person that when your friend calls you from the side of the road, flat tire, hey, can you come help me out? Maybe you say, no, I prefer my cars to have no flat tires. Maybe you guys are the type of guys, friend in the hospital, let me send some flowers. Let me send you a car with $20 in it. You won't show up because you're only there for the good times. OKW is here for the whole thing, man. The whole spectrum, the good and the bad, from the grittying in the Pro Bowl to what we just saw yesterday. And here's the thing. I have one piece of video evidence, and it was bad. I get it. Everybody knows it was a bad game. This is when I decided, you know what, Mac Jones, you need somebody. This is in the second quarter. Mac Jones, that is not a great pass. And then stop it. Look at Mac Jones right there, bro. You want me to give up on that guy? That's not who Mac Jones needs to be. Mac Jones, I need the dirty dog back. I need you cheap shotting guys, maybe hitting guys where the sun doesn't shine. I need a little bit of the bad boy to come back. Because when you're sitting there with your head down, no confidence, throwing muffins to the other team, that's not going to work. We need a win streak desperately starting next week against the Saints. But I am not abandoning Mac Jones, although I did have a moment of weakness.
Yeah, Brew, that wasn't a moment of weakness. That was your first moment of strength.
No.
And listen, Wildes, Brew and I talked about this.
Yes.
We didn't want to have to do it. But it's time.
It's time,
Wildes.
What is this? Why is there Kleenex?
Because you might cry. We're having a Mac Jones intervention.
This is like a seance.
We care about you.
We care about you.
No seance.
Why is there so many
we care about
an intervention?
We care about you, man. You talked about your friend. You're our friend that we see on the side of the road.
You send out tweets
with the flat tire
that say you're ready to quit him. And then you go right back. You have moments, what is called moments of clarity.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, you wake up the next morning and decide you're going to get right back on that horse.
People went too far. People went too far in the criticism.
Wildes.
Really?
Wildes.
It's a bad game.
Wildes.
It was.
Wildes.
That's for sure.
It's not your fault.
Very true.
It's not your fault.
Okay.
And what you're about to do, it's one thing, Wildes, for you to go on TV and have like wacky Super Bowl picks. That's part of your character.
Sure.
But your opinion on the Patriots, people take seriously.
I'm serious.
And you're about to throw your whole career away. And maybe any loyalty to Bill Belichick. And
he's doing a great job.
See,
he's doing a fantastic job, isn't he?
Wow. In service of this guy. Wildes, you got to stop. It's not good for you.
Well, what's my other option,
Bailey
bro?
Zappi needs a friend, too. He his friend.
Bailey Zappi's not the answer.
Brew, can I ask you a question?
He's not.
Other than Desmond Ridder and Kenny Pickett, is there any team in the league that if the Patriots called them and said, we'll trade you Mac for your quarterback straight up, they would say yes?
I'll trade him for you.
Is there? See, that's what I'm saying. You're lashing out. Brew, honestly, right now today, if the Patriots called the Cardinals and said Mac Jones for Dobbs.
Not right now.
If right now today, after these 2 games we just saw, they called and said, hey, Mac Jones for Justin Fields, the Bears say no.
No.
Justin Fields put some good tape
honestly,
out there.
Wildes thought I was taking a cheap shot. Riding off the sugar high of last night, if the Patriots called the Jets and said Mac Jones for Zach Wilson, what do they say?
I think that I do think the Jets would do that.
Maybe.
I think the Jets would do that.
Wildes.
I will make a decision. I'll say something real. It was the third worst passer rating of his career. Mm-hmm. We are now 1-3.
Yeah.
I will still be a Chiefs fan. But I'm not abandoning Mac Jones.
Okay.
Nice try. Nice try. It's not happening.
Right. Well,
hit the lights. The Mac Jones party goes on.
I didn't expect the F game. Remember, I said that.
Yeah.
No F game because they got San Francisco next week. They'll be on alert. My grading process is scientific. It's not willy-nilly.
No,
all right, it's not a gag. All right. The Cowboys gave Bill Belichick the worst beating of his career. The Cowboys beat up on a team that had given the Eagles and the Dolphins
all they could handle.
All they wanted, right. The Cowboys forced 3 turnovers and the defense scored twice. That's all good.
A game?
But
give them the A.
I have this against you, Cowboys.
I have this ready for you.
It cannot
I thought you were going to do it.
No,
A game?
It's close.
A game?
Again, scientific. A minus.
Oh, Brew, I've got this for you too.
There you go. This is it.
I had one of these in case we needed them. I ain't got them all. I've got them all ready for you, Brew. A minus.
Okay.
And
that means I expect even more. You guys know the one issue. Thank you for that too. That's
no
a good,
problem. I got
good save. All right. The red zone is an issue. They are 30th now. They were 1 for 4 in the red zone yesterday. They are 30th, Nick, in the league in the red zone.
Can I say one thing about the 1 for 4 yesterday?
Yeah.
The NFL stats, Dak threw a touchdown from the 20.
Yeah.
And they didn't count that as a red zone touchdown.
Because it's not the red zone. It has to be
19.
inside.
Okay,
even that.
So,
that might, they're 36% in the red zone.
No, I understand.
That
So
might
up it
move
a
them up
tiny
to
bit.
40.
Sure,
I don't know.
yeah, go ahead.
But they're struggling in the red zone. And that is what I'm concerned about. That's the only reason this minus is here.
Okay.
Had they been efficient in the red zone with touchdowns, they would have got more. They would have got a straight A or maybe A plus.
May I just make the case that we maybe once again we judge the Cowboys a little differently than other teams? We are here in a moment going to talk about the team, I think, seemingly the whole national media right now, this very moment, one of the teams they're most enthralled with, the Buffalo Bills.
They look good.
The Buffalo Bills have had 3 A games and 1 F game. And people are like, fine, no problem, Super Bowl contender, maybe the best in the conference. The Dallas Cowboys have had 3 A games and 1 F game. And their 3 wins,
the 3 wins
have been
crazy.
Demolitions.
Right.
They have won by 40-0, 30-10, and 38-3. And I agree with you, Brew, that if you go through each of the red zone possessions, the first one was bad.
Yeah.
The first one, first and goal from the 4,
line.
and it's still a close game, and they can't punch it in. That one's bad. The next one they failed on, the 4th and 4, I think they probably would have gone for that if the game was closer, but it was already 18-3. And then the other one was just an offensive line breakdown. They had 3rd and 2, and Dak takes a sack. So I don't look at that as bad. It was really, to me, just one real red zone failure. But what I do think we have to give the Cowboys credit for is after a disastrous game where they didn't take their opponent seriously, they came out yesterday and kicked the teeth in of a desperate team.
Let me ask you this, though, about the red zone.
Go.
Because you know the concerns when they get into the playoffs, Mike McCarthy at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Do you think they miss Kellen Moore in the red zone? Last year they were number 1
Dalton Schultz.
in the red zone. I think they missed Dalton Schultz. I also think they missed Zeke in the red zone.
What were you going to ask, Wildes?
Are the Giants? Do you think the Giants are a good team?
No.
You think the Jets are a good team?
I think Jets have a good defense.
You think Patriots are a good team?
I think they have a good defense.
You think the Cardinals are a good team?
I think the Cardinals are the best of the four.
It's 3 bad teams.
And what's the good team?
Well, you're right. Cardinals
no, but I get that.
But we're let's
hold
bow down to the Cowboys.
No, but
either you got to pick one.
No.
Either the Patriots stink and Mac Jones is giving you Christmas presents early, or the Cowboys are dominant. But you can't have both.
No, you can say that if you are an excellent team, the standard we hold you to is when you play other excellent teams, you hold your own. When you play pretty good teams, you win more than you lose. And when you play bad teams, you kick their teeth in.
Fair.
Unless, of course, you're practicing and you're the Chiefs.
Right.
In which case you're working
and you go
on
to
some
overtime.
things. But I haven't been overly impressed by who the Niners have played, but I've been impressed by how they've played.
You see Brock Purdy?
Well, yeah, I know.
Brock Purdy. Yeah. I think he's moving up Mahomes' mountain. I can't
he
wait
did miss
to
a
see
pass.
Mahomes' mountain.
He did. His completion percentage was 95%. So maybe
I cannot wait for Mahomes. I think it's a big change.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.